21 points. We were getting solid games that weren't even bloopy material. This is like we're all the way back to the beginning of the season.
Imagine the carnival music playing behind your missed shots as they go viral. Angel Reese's reality is that, and it gets worse. Despite being a vital member of the Chicago Sky, her layup percentage is among the lowest in the WNBA. How did Reebok manage to link a player who was having this much trouble both on and off the court to their basketball comeback? Let's investigate.
Skyscrapers, best young core in the league. See, this is why, Angel Reese, you got to learn how to just chill out sometime. Now you look crazy. I told y'all, remember, I told y'all.
No one could have imagined how one play would become a viral hit for all the wrong reasons when Angel Reese walked the court against the Washington Mystics. Late in the second quarter, Reese drove to the hoop for what ought to have been a simple layup, marking the moment. Rather, the ball struck the base of the rim and bounced back as if it didn't want to play.
Oh, but we got our own rebound. Beautiful. We got our own offensive rebound. Here we go again. A little bit of travel action in there. Oh, and we missed another. But don't worry. We grabbed our second rebound. Let me just posture up real quick. Talk my ish. You can't guard me. You can't guard me. Point forward, Angel Reese.
We got the ball back and went up again, but for some reason, the second try was even worse. It landed off the backboard without making contact with the cylinder. The announcers, who were seasoned pros trained to inject excitement into even the most boring game, were unable to contain themselves at that time. One mumbled, "Oh no," and the other laughed out before pausing in the middle of the sentence. They became aware that they couldn't laugh on the internet, one spectator wrote, but the damage was already done.
Listen to this. We have the commentators that are actually laughing at this.
To be able to attack and finish inside, and Washington has done that incredibly well so far. Reese missed the first one, still with it blocked.
The responses to the errors were what really set this slip-up apart, not the errors per se. Commentators laughing at a mistake made by an active player. It hardly ever occurs. These experts have the ability to make a free throw in a preseason game seem like the game-winning basket in the 7th game of the championship series. Even a momentary lapse like that tells more about them than a whole post-game study could.
They realized that they were laughing and then quickly stopped themselves like, oh, I can't laugh. I'm live right now. I can't laugh. I'm live right now. Let me get real serious real quick. Angel, come on, man.
This was not one of those infrequent occasions when something extraordinary occurs. The reverse was true. It's the kind of moment where you watch in shock and wonder how someone this good could have such obvious difficulties. Naturally, the show was quickly amplified on the internet. In a matter of hours, the video became widely shared, edits, memes, everything.
Now we have Angel Reese's signature move, is what they're calling it. The Angel Reese spin cycle, the Angel Reese face up. Oh, here we go. Oh, snap, cook up, crossover. Crossover right to the rack, and we...
In one film, her unsuccessful attempts were accompanied with circus music, while in another, the play was slowed down to a humorous tempo. Posted when you bragged too much in the warm-ups, fans on social media turned into amateur directors, creating an endless stream of content that collectively racked up millions of views. This was a complete digital takedown, not merely trolling.
The Washington Mystics just put belt to ass on Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky. Sonia Citron was out there cooking with hot grease. Stir the pot, stir the pot. Keep cooking, Sonia.
Some argued that it was unfair to pick her out, while others saw nothing wrong with it, citing her well-known endorsements and public image. For Reese, the humiliation on live TV and the memes aren't the worst part. It's how this particular instance relates to a larger story about her difficulties this season on the court.
Oh, she put on a flat-out show versus Angel Reese in the Chicago Sky. Boy, did they ruin Angel Reese's homecoming. Kiki took this game personal.
A growing belief that Reese, who is being hailed as a star, may not be living up to the expectations is fueled by every joke and snarky remark regarding her missed layups. And now it's more than just fan conjecture, its viral content is generating valid inquiries regarding her position in the sky in publications and podcasts.
Angel Reese back up to her old bag of tricks on the basketball court, throwing the ball off the bottom of the backboard. And yet again, her fans have talked her into another one-sided.
The absurd thing is that this wasn't a standalone play. This one simply jumped out because to the commentator's lack of poise, but it fits into a pattern that her detractors are all too eager to identify, and we're going there when you mix her statistics with instances like these. You begin to understand why it's getting more difficult to defend her stardom. Let's discuss it.
We got some more statistical data that Angel Reese may be the worst perceived superstar possibly in professional sports.
Would you believe me if I told you that Angel Reese's layup percent wasn't just poor, but historically poor? These aren't simply approximate figures, you know? These are the kinds of figures that raise doubts about how she has even handled the attention she has received. Reese's layup conversion rate is at only 31.5%. It's not a typo.
Her shooting percentage has went from 22.7% to 31.1%. I gave that yesterday. 31.1% overall as a 6'4" power forward. That's awful.
Since layups are thought to be the easiest shots on the court, the league average for professional players falls between 70% and 80%. It's the fundamentals of basketball. Reese, however, is somehow achieving stats that wouldn't even hold up in a pickup game at your neighborhood gym.
Still, Angel Reese has one of the lowest shooting percentages in the WNBA, especially on layups. She is currently third in the league in layups attempted with 54.
This is when things become even more annoying. In fact, Reese makes the third most layup attempts in the NBA. Consider that for a moment. The majority of players that exhibit this level of inefficiency would attempt to change things around. Perhaps reduce the number of tries or change tactics to prevent making matters worse. Reese, however, gives the opposing team the opportunity to collapse into the paint and get ready for another defensive rebound.
Let me repeat. Third in the league in attempted, so she shot 54, but her 31.5% mark is by far the lowest among any other player in the top 10. In fact, Reese ranks dead last in the WNBA among all players who have attempted at least 35 layups. She's worse than the worst player in the league.
Combine those numbers with her reputation as one of the most talked about personalities in women's basketball at the moment. As the Chicago Sky attempt to salvage themselves from a devastating losing season, she is expected to be a dominant force and a franchisee-defining talent. Rather, her lack of effectiveness has made her more of a burden.
She had a good game, 22 points, 13 rebounds, but she shot terribly. She got bailed out so many times, throwing up brick layups, getting phantom foul calls from the refs.
Consider yourself the opposing coach. Are you planning defensive plays to thwart a shooter who has a 31% layup percentage? Most likely not. Reese has been providing them with just what they could ask for. At crucial times when points have to be automated, empty holdings. However, Reese's problems go beyond the figures. These are the repercussions those figures have on her group. Nor has the Chicago Sky been very bright.
I mean, she's talking about setting out to make more money. Are you shitting me? Can we pay you to sit out? Chicago Sky fans should be especially considering her teammate is on this list, and it's downright embarrassing when you see them together.
The Sky's 8-game losing skid right now seems like the ideal setting for Reese's problems to flare up in all the wrong ways. And without her, the team's issues don't seem to go away. They were still unable to win even after she missed 5 games due to a back issue. Reese seems to represent this strange dichotomy in which her absence doesn't really hurt either, but her presence doesn't assist either.
Once again, a statistically great performance from Angel Reese. It had absolutely no impact on winning, mainly because the Chicago Bravado once again got their ass kicked.
Let's not mince words. These figures just support the story. Reese's missed shots have already become the subject of numerous memes created by fans. Additionally, every new highlight scratch that low light is dissected publicly. The raw proportion is visible to the public. Another puzzling missed layup gets clipped by them. Additionally, the entire internet is entertaining. Commentators and analysts have had enough of making excuses. It's not a slump, there is a tendency.
There are honestly fans out there that think she's some kind of a top 10, 15, top 20 player when there is a statistical number that has dropped today. Is she the worst starting power forward in the league? I mean, it's bad. This is, as the kids say, this is in fact diabolical.
The true question now is, how did Reebok decide to use this athlete and these figures as the face of their basketball comeback? Because the gamble may already be backfiring if her shooting is any clue.
Remember when everybody was talking about, oh, Angel Reese has been in the lab? This proves. Nah, I don't know what she's working on, but it's certainly not her inside game. It's not. I don't get it.
At this point, Reebok's strategy begins to appear somewhat dubious. Todd Krinsky, the CEO of Reebok, recently referred to Angel Reese as a possible gimmicker. Someone who could sit with the brand's historical luminaries, such as Allen Iverson and Shaquille O'Neal. That's a big remark in and of itself. But it becomes increasingly ironic when you consider how Reese has been acting lately.
When I thought Angel Reese was turning a corner, just when I thought Angel Reese was transitioning from pretend basketball player to make-believe basketball player. As you guys know, the next level up from a make-believe player is a real basketball player.
Aiming high with a new recruit is one thing, but comparing her to 2 of the greatest and most culturally significant basketball players in history is quite another. Even though her numbers are historically low, it is what many are now wondering.
Yeah, the Barbie with dozens of aliases always looks great statistically. You know who else looked great on paper? Derek Carr. You know what he won? Not a damn thing.
Let's discuss what Reebok accomplished in this instance. Reese wasn't just signed, they made a commitment to her. They staked her claim as the future of their brand's comeback in the performance basketball market by making her their first big basketball deal in years. In 2026, a signature shoe will even be released.
Reese ranks dead ass last in the WNBA among all players who have attempted at least 35 holy shit fire and saved the matches. I mean, honest.
Consider an entire shoe launch centered around Angel Reese. It's not a little investment. Players who stand out for their skill, domination, or at least obvious promise are typically the ones who endorse trademark sneakers because it's a showy gesture. Here's the problem, then. How can you market basketball shoes associated with a player whose season-long misses of layups have gone viral?
22 points, 13 rebounds, got to the free throw line multiple times, 11 free throws for Angel Reese, but the bloopies were blooping, and oh boy, here we go. Right, we go, right, easy open layup, and a stoink right off the bottom of the backboard, and we're just asking for a foul.
Even casual fans begin to raise their eyebrows at this point. Reebok is currently attempting to shift the majority of its marketing attention away from her on-court accomplishments and onto her persona and social media presence. Yes, she's well known on the internet. She has followers, influence, and an unmistakable swagger. However, let's face it, consumers who purchase performance basketball shoes want to think that the player they are rooting for is a terrific basketball player. What should Reebok do, in your opinion? Put off the shoe, cancel it completely, tell us in the comments section. Basketball isn't the only topic here. It concerns the speed at which excitement might fade when reality sets in.